So just a rundown of what we're doing here. The gearbox will not select any gears, so we're just removing it here so we can get it replaced. Alright, here comes trouble. Man, I'm so glad he wasn't on the road while I was driving just now in the tractor. That could have been a problem. Oh boy. Okay, so I got our brand new gearbox reinstalled on the engine and got the whole thing attached. So let's go ahead and lower it back into the car. Oh man, it's still not working. I put a brand new gearbox in here and it's still not working. What am I gonna do? Alright folks, so I've had a bit of a interesting development here, and I have found something. And you won't believe what I have found. Ah, this feels good. Oops, don't need to see that. Welcome back to part 2 of everything wrong with my summer car for 2021. I hadn't played this game for over 2 years until recently. So this is part 2 of everything that's gone wrong since I last looked at this game 2 years ago. So a lot of the parts on the Satsuma, the sad little car that we see in front of us, are worn out already when you start the game. So yeah, this is how it's looking at the moment. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get some of the footage from when I removed the engine, so apologies for that. So just a rundown of what we're doing here. We're removing the gearbox like so, because I believe the gearbox is toast. If you watched part 1, you'd know that I wasn't able to select any gears. So that's not the only thing wrong with my summer car at the moment. The water pump also has an issue, but yeah, just showing you everything I had to go through to take the engine out here. The half shafts, the radiator hoses, some of the wiring as well had to be removed. And then you've got the engine mounts there, and then basically just use the crane to lift it out. So here's the ignition parts, the gear linkage as well, the hood I removed. So yeah, it was a bit of a journey to get the engine out for sure, and I really didn't want to have to do it, but yeah, it seems like the gearbox is the culprit here, guys. So this is part 2 of everything wrong. Hopefully in this episode, or in this video, we can get the gearbox renewed. So our only mode of transport right now is this here tractor, the Kekmet. So I'm going to chuck the transmission in there in just a second. But one thing also I did notice was the clutch. So I'm just taking the clutch apart here. I'm not sure if the clutch is a wear item, to be honest, but I'm going to take it off anyway, seeing as I've all the way removed the engine and whatnot. So it makes sense to see if we can't replace the clutch while we're here. Alright, so just throwing the clutch plate into the tractor as well. Oops, just messing with the diff lock there by accident. Alright, so there's the clutch and there's the gearbox. So we're going to head down to the mechanics shop, Fleetari, as he's known, and we're going to get ourselves some new parts. So yeah, we'll get those parts, refit everything together, put the engine back into the vehicle, and see if we can't get this thing moving. So I'm just going to plug in my wheel. Alright, I've got my steering wheel all plugged in now, so let's climb on into this here old tractor and head on down to Fleetari, our mechanics shop place thing. Just release the handbrake here. Just adjust the idle a little bit. At least we have the use of this tractor for the time being. The blue van, as you'll know, belongs to the uncle. Whoops, just stalled the tractor. So it's not always available, and I haven't... let me just get this thing running here. Give me a moment. So yes, anyway, I'm going to be using the tractor for running these parts up and down today. Now, buying a new gearbox is going to cost a little bit of money, but we've got enough money. So just going to head on down, put it into high range here. Alright, off we go in 3rd gear high. So this is top gear. It's Monday morning, so Fleetari should be open from 8 AM to 4 PM, I believe. So yeah, just moseying on down our little dirt path here, dirt road. We haven't yet hit any main highways or anything. Hopefully avoid driving this thing on the highway. We should be there in a moment. Alright, so just coming around the last corner here. And here's Fleetari's shop on the right hand side ahead of us. Alright, clutch in. Looks like I've got my idle speed set way too high, but anyway. Just going to park up here, hopefully without impaling anyone. Alright, so here we are. Now, we've got the gearbox here, the faulty gearbox, and you can see there's a brand new one on the shelf. Alright, so time to get this new gearbox, and it's $1,950, or marks, or whatever it is. Alright, now I've got the clutch as well. I'm going to see if the clutch is actually replaceable. Okay. Apparently, the clutch is not replaceable. Interesting. Alright, well, I guess we won't replace the clutch then, so we'll just, yeah, I can't see. It's not a wear item apparently, so, oh well. Let's purchase the gearbox. Just going to have a quick look through here, only a 10% discount at the moment. I can't really see anything here relating to clutch work, so... Alright, so I'm going to just put the original clutch back into the tractor. I'm not going to bother trying to replace that, I think. Fingers crossed, should be fine. Just going to go ahead and purchase the gearbox here. So there's our brand new gearbox on the counter. The old one's disappeared. So yay, there's our brand new gearbox. So alright, here comes trouble. Man, I'm so glad he wasn't on the road while I was driving just now in the tractor. That could have been a problem. I'll let him go. Oh boy. Alright, so let's head back inside and make our way back to our place. Actually, I just realized as well, I'm just going to do a quick grocery run because I'm running quite low on cigarettes here, so anyone who's played this game may well know that the traffic on the open highway is nothing short of terrifying. Some cars will give you a wide berth, like this guy that's coming up, but other cars will just run straight into you and kill you. And because there's permadeath, you will die. Alright, so just heading back from the grocery store now. You can see that it's weather's really turned on us, and it's pretty much almost evening time now. So we've burnt almost the entire day doing these runs in this tractor today. So one thing I did not do today was refuel the tractor, and the fuel level is a little bit low, so I'm gonna have to put some fuel in the next time I take this tractor out, I think. Got our groceries with us. Got some food, got some cigarettes. So yeah, apart from that, gonna head back. Alright, so here we are. Just got the radio running here. Let me just turn it down a little bit. Alright, so I'm just going to park up here. Make sure I turn everything off. Okay, so our lovely Satsuma waits for us. So tomorrow what we'll do is we'll put the clutch on, we'll put the brand new gearbox on, and hopefully that will cure our gearbox woes, so we'll be able to shift gears once again. So I'll leave that until tomorrow in the game. So tonight what we're just going to do is just eat and have a drink and whatnot, get settled in for the night, take our groceries. Got quite a few packs of cigarettes in here. Let's just turn this light on. Just gonna have a little drink of water as well. I must say, this aspect of the game really kind of drives home how much you need to live. It's raining. Alright, just gonna leave all the parts outside. It's, yeah, not ideal, I guess, in the real world. Alright, got our Groceries, just chilling now for the evening. We've got more than enough cigarettes. Don't want to run out of cigarettes in this game, because if your stress levels go too high and you don't have any cigarettes, you could die, as far as I know. So not good, not good. So I've got enough cigarettes, got enough food in the fridge. Just going to have a quick shower. This feels good. Oops, don't need to see that. Alright, so it's getting later in the evening now. I'm going to turn off the TV and head to bed. So tomorrow we can put our brand new gearbox on, get our clutch going, and yeah. Okay, it's a new day, it's Tuesday now, so we had quite a productive Monday yesterday in the game. So all we need to do now is basically reattach everything, and yeah, hopefully we can make this thing work. So let's get right into it. We'll get our clutch going first, put the clutch on, and then once we've done that, we'll attach the gearbox as well. So the clutch, it appears, is not a wear item as mentioned earlier, so that's probably not a bad thing, I guess, in some ways. It just means one less thing to worry about in the game. Alright, so clutch is on, gearbox is on. Now I need to put the inspection cover on. That's nice, that looks nice, doesn't it? Alright, so now we've got these 6 bolts to attach on the bell housing. Alright, it's looking good. Alright, you can't miss a bolt when you're doing this kind of stuff, because it just gets harder later on. So yeah, there's parts wear and all that kind of stuff that's modeled in the game. Now this drive gear, which I just snapped on just there, and I'm just tightening up here, this drive gear does not wear out apparently, so no need to worry about that. Alright, so time to put the engine back into the vehicle. So let's go ahead and let's see if we can't do this properly. Just move these radiator hoses out of the way. One thing I did notice as well, the radiator hoses were loose. I think since one of the updates over the past 2 years at some point, the radiator hoses were loose. It was probably mentioned, I'm sure it was mentioned in the update notes. But yeah, I'm glad that I'm going through all of this now, just to give the vehicle a bit of a refresh and just ensure that it's all good to go. So just going to lower the engine into the vehicle now, and hopefully once we get it all hooked up, we should be in a pretty good spot to see if the car can shift properly, because that's my main problem with this vehicle at this point. The gears just do not shift. So I'm really hoping against hope that well, not really against hope, but I'm hoping that the new gearbox will fix the issue that I'm having, because I have ruled out the gear linkage, the clutch seems fine and all that sort of stuff. I checked all of that before I got to this stage. So alright, so the engine is more or less in place, not really, but whatever. What we need to do now is just attach the engine mounts. Just gonna mess around with the engine positioning a bit more. Alright, let's see if this works. Yay! Alright, engine's on. Fantastic. So attach these engine mounts. There's 3 of them. There's 2 on the front and 1 on the rear of the engine back here as well. Excellent. Alright, so that's it. The engine is now mounted. Now it's time to just remove the engine hoist from the engine itself, and we can take the hoist away, and hopefully that's the last we'll see of that for a while. So half shafts now go back in. So just putting them in here. Basically half shafts, you've got 3 bolts on the gearbox end, which is right here, and then you've got 1 big bolt on the wheel hub as well. So just go through and do that right now. Put in these big bolts on the hubs themselves. Alright. Cool. Alright, so now we can basically put the wheels back on, so we'll just go ahead and do that. Alright. Gonna have a smoking break shortly because our stress levels are high once again. Alright. So, where are we at with this? We've got the brand new gearbox in. We've got the clutch refitted. Engines refitted. Basically need to connect the radiator hoses. Half shafts already done. Yeah, so radiator hoses, electrics, battery, and gear linkage, things like that. But yeah, the mainly what I want to see is whether we can now shift gears or not. So this should be interesting to see indeed. Let's bring it down, and this will be the moment of truth for sure. So actually I just realized I haven't put my man, okay, hang on, I've got to do the clutch hydraulic mounting bolt as well, otherwise our clutch fluid will leak out. So let's just grab the electrics first, the ignition, put the ignition back in, there we go, and attaching the ignition and the starter motor wires, there we go, and there's the clutch fluid, clutch line, I should say. Alright, so gear linkage. Alright, I just realized I have to take the wheel off again, so just doing that now. Get that wheel out of the way so that we can put the gear linkage in. Alright, so gear linkage in. Alright, so be careful with the gear linkage. There's 2 bolts here on the bottom that need to be tightened up. Alright, and there's 1 bolt at the very top as well. So you've got 3 bolts for the gear linkage, and that's it. As long as they're nice and tight, we should... Moment of truth, everyone. Moment of truth. Here we go. Huh? Oh man, it's still not working. It's still not working. I put a brand new gearbox in here and it's still not working. What am I going to do? I think it's time to throw this thing off a cliff. Alright, so yeah, a bit stumped here now, folks. Brand new gearbox. Clutch appeared to be fine. I've refilled the clutch fluid as well. I don't understand it. I'm not sure what's wrong with it. It just does not want to shift gears, so I don't get it. I'm just going to continue putting everything back together anyway for what it's worth. But yeah, a little bit disappointed right now. Alright, let's put one of the radiator hoses on here. Just screwing the radiator hoses in, putting some coolant in. I don't quite understand what the problem is. If the gears are not shifting now, I don't know what else I can change related to that, so it's a bit of a shame. I'm just checking one last check over all the bolts. Drive gear, transmission, all those bolts seem fine. I don't understand what could be the problem. I really don't. So, alright folks, so I've had a bit of a interesting development here. I've just been just wandering around, just looking at the car, trying the gears again, and guess what? I've jumped into the vehicle and I have found something. And you won't believe what I have found. Everything here looks fine, right? Well, let's have a look. So let's go ahead and jump on inside. Rain stopped, thankfully. And look at that! The gears are working! 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 Okay. Alright, so everything's working now. The gears are working, as if, in case you didn't hear me say that already. So, I just realized as well, I did not get a water pump when I went to Fleetari's today. What am I thinking? Anyway, the whole purpose of this video was to just get the gearbox working. So, I think there's an issue with the alternator as well, but at least we've got oil pressure. So I'm just going to bring this thing back into the garage for now. I think the alternator might be on its way out as well, judging by that red charging light that keeps coming on the dashboard. So yeah, let's go ahead and alright, I'm actually quite happy now, folks. So yes, we have managed to get the gearbox working in today's video, so thank goodness for that. I'm really happy with that. I'm just going to take the battery out and put it back on charge, and in part 3 of our video, our next video I should say, so it'll be part 3. Just got to put this on charge here like so. Yeah, so in part 3 we will get the water pump removed from the vehicle and take the tractor back down to Fleetari, get a new water pump, and yeah. Yes, it's working. So I've got this little notepad here, so I'm just going to enter a few little to-dos for the next video. So I'm just going to put in here, replace water pump, ensure battery, ensure alternator is working. So I might need to replace the alternator as well. Alright, engine tune. So might need to look into why it's backfiring there. Might need a timing adjustment, or maybe it was just the choke wasn't adjusted properly. I'll have to do a bit of reading on that. But yeah, anyway, that's it folks for this video. Thanks so much for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already. And I look forward to seeing you in part 3, where we go ahead and replace the water pump, possibly the alternator, do a bit of tuning, and we should be on the road with this beast once again. So until then, I'm a happy chappy, and catch you next time.